because a singer that sings softly and it's close to the mic will have everything enhanced. So start changing your mindset, because that's the first step. It's not easy, it's not basic, it's not quick. Hello everyone, welcome back to McSolaar TV. Hope you're having a great day. I brought back the rapid fire Q&A. So in this series of videos, I'm gonna answer your questions. Before we start, please check the info box down below for my mixing courses on Pro Mix Academy, free plugin special discounts and offers, and if you want to support the channel. But most important, if you really want to learn how to mix and master professionally, click the join button down here, become a MixBuzz TV member and access the already big and always growing library of in-depth mix and mastering courses, videos and tutorials, full mixes, breakdowns from start to finish, mastering courses with all the settings for my analog gear and plugins, special videos and a lot more. You also get mix consultations with me via Skype or email. Next question by Will. Super basic, but how do you get pop hip-hop vocals up to professional loudness with enough top hand but without harshness, especially if the performance itself isn't very loud, like the Heart So Gone song you play as an outro, you mean my artist Bella's single throat, or BBR song when he's singing more softly but still on top of the track? Well, first of all, none of this is basic nor easy. What you're asking is basically, how do you mix professionally? Which doesn't really have a short answer or an answer at all, if we want to be honest. So I feel like this, because you're talking about hip hop, it goes back to the things that I always fight against: mixing a vocal on top of an already mixed or mastered, even worse, beat. You don't do that. That's not the way it's done. And see, this is again proof that despite few people saying, oh, you know, you do it all the time, it can be done, it can be done. Yeah, but how your mix sounds, how the final product sounds. Because there's obviously people out there, they're not experienced engineers, and they still hear the difference. They still hear the limit of doing something like that. My fear here is that the basic concept you miss are gain staging again. Because of course, it sounds like your beat is loud and is already close to clipping or clipping, and then you have the vocals and you can't get it up to, you know, the level that you want to be on top of the music because the music is too loud. Well, first of all, that's easy. Turn everything down, turn everything else down, you know, and you have your vocals at the level that you want. As for the top end, bright without harshness, well, that's skills, and people don't want to hear this, but analog plays a big part in this, because that's also why we like analog so much. As for instead soft singing, like Bella and, you know, some other artists, that's one of the most difficult things to do. And I said this several times, Bella is one of the most difficult type of vocals to mix, to record in the first place, and then to mix because of that. And how you do it? Well, first of all, you have to nail the recording. It can be okay. It needs to be perfect and great. So that means mic placement, where and how far from the singer, what mic, what preamp, everything. Because at that point, the singer that sings quietly and softly, it's probably have to be close to the mic. So proximity effect plays a role, dynamic plays a role, and your chain must be on point for that, and that is experience. There's no, oh, this piece will work for everything. I know, for example, what works for Bella. After 2 years, I found her chain that is, I know now that it works the best for her, but every performance settings change. And once you nailed the recording, then there's the mixing part, which is a long process. There's not one trick or one unit or one plugin. It's a matter of, I have a couple of videos on this, not much because I will never break down whatever mixes or something, but there are a few sneak peek, and the process is pretty grueling because it starts with volume automation, a very extremely detailed volume automation, which most people don't want to do. And then there's probably wideband compression and multiband compression or dynamic EQ, because a singer that sings softly and it's close to the mic will have everything enhanced. So a spike in dynamic will be a lot bigger than a singer that is a little further away from the mic, 1 inch makes huge difference, okay? So your dynamic is gonna be wilder than anything else. And of course, what plays a gigantic role is the tone, because there's soft singing, so the equalization in the context of the mix must be perfect, and you have to have an ear for that, is experience, okay? To understand how a vocal that is soft singing, that is quiet, can be on top of an aggressive, especially track like throat and hard hitting. Okay, that's absolutely not easy or basic. That's advanced mixing. So start changing your mindset, because that's the first step. It's not easy, it's not basic, it's not quick. It will require hours of work. And like I said, it's automation and then de-essing, which is manual, and then with plugins, with analog gear. For example, the Fatso with the worm circuit is just one of the many tickets that you can use. There are so many others, but you get my point. It's not one thing. And again, I want to stress this. A mix, a well done, great mix, it's not done by mixing a vocal on a beat. You mix everything together, but it's not basic, it's not easy. It's a lot of movement with the fader, with the volumes, with EQ automation, with threshold for the compressor automation, and also, like I said, the tone, which is probably gonna require a couple of parallel channels for that soft vocals to bring the low level information up. MV2 is a good plugin for it, but it's never enough by itself. You usually have a parallel compression channel, you usually have a parallel saturation channel. You need to be careful with both, because harshness is gonna be, you know, right around the corner. That's why we go back to what mic do you use? Because cheap mics, the problem with cheap mics is usually that they're very bright. And that's, I want to say on purpose, but there's a reason, because everything that is brighter at first listen will appear as better. For our brain perceives it better. You take 2 identical mixes, the same song, and you add 1 dB boost at 10K on one of them, and you A/B them, your brain will tell you that one is better, you know, for the first 5 minutes. And then the next day, oh, you know, as you listen to it many times, you realize, oh, that's actually harsh. But the first impression for our brain is bright is better. So companies started to make their microphones brighter, because when you go and audition the various mics, the first impression, the brighter will tell your brain, oh, this is better, this is pretty. And then you start stacking vocals with that mic, with that bright mic, your lead, your ad-lib, your background, your doubles, and that harshness start build up. And that's how you do it. So yeah, I hope this answered the question.
Hands on my neck, hands grip my throat. Lift me up, man, take control.